This is the heartbeat of human services, a peek into the inspiring stories of our community and all things DHS. Join us.
Hey there, everybody. I'm your host, Janice Slagle of the podcast, The Heartbeat of Human Services. And today, joining me, we have two wonderful ladies who work for the Department of Human Services. We have Tammy Barunda. Tammy, welcome.
Hello, thank you.
And Tammy, tell us your title again. You do.
I'm a Human Service Supervisor at the Call Center Processing Services. I am the Workflow Coordinator and the SSI Liaison.
And SSI is Social Security something, right?
Social Security Income.
Income, okay. Thank you. And we also have Yesenia Burdick, or Yessie for short. Yessie, tell us where you work and what you do.
Hello, I am an Assistant Program Director at the Delano District Office.
Awesome. Delano, we love our Delano people. That's
Yes.
a great office.
Yes, it
You
is.
guys have got your building all back together. It looks great again, right?
Yes, and we're expanding and we're getting ready to launch a call center over there in Delano as well.
Oh,
so.
that's exciting news.
very
Hot off the
exciting.
presses here.
Yes, it is.
Well, thank you both for joining us today. The reason that we thought it would be kind of interesting to have you is, even though it's February now, we just finished National Eligibility Appreciation Month, right? And our eligibility workers here, they're also called HSTs, or Human Service Technician. They're kind of
Yes.
both, right? So they really make up the backbone of what we do, don't they? They
Yes.
really do a lot.
Yes, they do. They do a lot of work. And they're also, the eligibility workers are extra help that
That's
we have
right.
on board.
Yes.
So sometimes extra help is eligibility, but then full time is HST.
Yes.
Kind of. That's
Yes.
I've noticed that. So and you ladies had the honor of going to a conference recently, right?
Yes.
And it's called New Paths. Is that the name of the conference or the organization or
It's the association.
the association? So what does New stand for? Either one of you.
National Eligibility Worker.
Professionals associated through human services.
Awesome.
yes.
Okay. I love it. So it's a lot of connecting, I'm sure, at these conferences, right? You're connecting with people.
Oh, definitely. Networking is a big thing. There was 180 attendees at this
Wow.
year's conference, all from California. It was the state conference, so they also offer a national conference, but this was a state
This was a
conference,
state
and they do it
conference.
annually.
Okay.
So it was a bunch of different counties
Yes.
that
So-
we got to connect with.
Oh,
Yes.
that's really important, isn't it?
Mhm.
And where
Yes.
was it?
It was in Burlingame, California, which
Okay.
is on the other side of the bay from San Francisco.
Okay, north. Burlingame is north. Okay. And so were there like at least 10 other counties there? More than that, would you say?
There was several counties. There was Riverside,
so
San
good.
Bernardino, Ventura, Santa Cruz, Fresno, Tulare,
We have
Alpine,
58 counties, don't we?
Siskiyou.
That's a lot.
And I
Yeah.
think everybody was represented. There's only a couple that weren't there.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think Imperial was one of them. LA was one of them, which
Yes.
was very surprising.
Yes,
Oh, I
because
bet
it's
you-
so big.
So tell me why you think it's important to connect with other counties.
Well, especially because we're transitioning to CalSAWS, right? Every county in the state is transitioning to CalSAWS, and it's important to network and talk about the challenges about that transition. A lot of counties that were CalWIN counties were talking to both Tammy and I and picking our brain about what they should
Yes.
look forward to
Right.
with
They-
CalSAWS.
Yes, they actually said that they wanted to sit next to us during the lunch networking that we had. So they wanted to pick
They
Kern
wanted
County's
to pick your
brains.
brain.
Yes,
Well,
to
that
see
says
our
a
new-
lot, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
We are a great, huge
Yes.
county, too. And so we're transitioning to CalSAWS. Sorry, for listeners who don't know what CalSAWS is, what is CalSAWS? Is that our computer system, or
Go
how
for
would
it,
you
Tammy.
describe it?
It is our computer system
Okay.
that connects us with all the eligibility benefits and how we process and how we determine eligibility.
Okay, so
So
it's
the-
really important, isn't
Yes,
it?
it is, because there are other counties that are CalWIN that haven't
Okay.
transitioned yet. So once
Got
we
it.
all go up, we will all be able to see each other's cases if you're eligible in other counties. It'll come up on the
okay.
on
So
the summary
before we
page.
weren't, the state wasn't all on the same system,
No,
right?
Exactly.
Okay, and CalWIN was the previous system, right?
Yeah,
Is
we
that-
were never.
we were never
We were never
CalWIN.
CalWIN.
No,
What were we before CalSAWS?
C4, and then
Oh,
prior
that's
to
right.
that, we were
Okay.
SAWS.
Okay, so So now most of all of the state at some point will be CalSAWS. Is that correct? And then
Yes.
you'll all be able to look at it, because sometimes we get calls on our line. I just moved here from San Diego County. I want to make sure my benefits get here. So that way you can connect with those counties, right?
Yes.
So that'll be really helpful for our clients,
gonna
right?
be
Our
wonderful.
customers. That's great.
And for our staff too.
Yes.
It'll just make it easier.
To find the information they need.
Correct. Yes.
That's really good. So speeding things up, making it easier. Do you find that more people are using BenefitsCal, like our online mechanism now, a little bit through COVID? Did
I
that
think
change?
so.
I think so also. And it's so much easier when a worker's on the phone and they need some kind of verification from a client. They can download it right there, upload it into BenefitsCal, and we can see it
It's
and
nice,
get it right
isn't
then
it?
and there. Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there's some people who struggle with online stuff, so they can still come in if they need to and get help that
Correct.
way. But we want to encourage people to use the BenefitsCal portal, right? Because
Yes.
that does help them and us. So with the new Paths conference, I know we were talking about some of the offerings, and you guys were wishing you could go to all of the different sessions, but you did go to acting on mandatory. Well, tell me which one you did go to.
Acting on mandatory and
Mid-period changes.
mid-period changes.
Mhm.
Okay, so that sounds
AUR.
kind of a lot of little. What does that mean?
And actually, it was Dan, the welfare man that everybody knows from UC Davis trainings. That
Dan
gave
the
it.
welfare man. That's his
Yes.
name. That is so
Yes,
funny.
yes.
Well, that's his
That's his
stage
tagline.
name.
Oh,
Yeah.
stage name.
on,
Okay.
on Facebook. He's actually gives a lot of trainings for UC Davis, and that's how everybody knows him.
So does he train people who work in this field? Is that what he does?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Does he make it easier for you guys to understand kind of what you're?
He's really good at explaining things, and he backs it up. He
With
stays on
pins.
top of all the state policies, and so he's really good about bringing that and explaining
helping you
things.
guys understand it.
And he puts links on his Facebook and YouTube site, where you can follow the all county welfare letters or any kind of determination that the state is putting down for
good.
processes. Mhm.
Because honestly, the work that eligibility workers or human service technician do, to me, it's a lot. Like
It
you
is a
have a
lot.
lot of information to remember.
Yes.
And so when someone comes into us and they need our help, not only you have to show compassion, but be knowledgeable on so many different things, right?
And it's constantly changing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? So
state-
just when you learn how
When
to
you
do
think
something,
you got it.
you think you got it, and they
Another
throw you a
change comes.
curveball. So,
Right.
Another change
yeah.
comes down.
Well, and especially through the pandemic, right? So during the pandemic, there were things like people didn't have to turn in certain things because there was some sort of a waiver, right?
Yes.
And now that's kind of changing with Medi-Cal and CalFresh.
That was actually one of the sessions we went to,
Correct.
Medi-Cal PHE Unwinding. So, and that was one of where the state board, the whole table was
Yes.
up, and
They talked a little bit about all the changes that are coming now with the public health emergency ending
Yes.
at the end of March, and so
gonna
slowly
be a big
bringing everything
change.
back up to
because
Right.
we weren't
Normal.
able to take a negative action on any Medi-Cal cases.
Right.
And now we're going to be able to. And so that they were letting us know how it was going to roll out and what notices were going to be going out to our customers and letting them know that it's going to be ending.
I'm your host, Allison, and I'm interrupting today's podcast to highlight a special opportunity on behalf of our JobFest team. JobFest Bakersfield is back. Join JobFest March 15th at the Mechanics Bank Convention Center at 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. For more information, head to jobfestkern.com. If you'd like to join our team here at DHS, apply online today at kerncounty.com under the Careers tab. Thank you for listening, and now back to the podcast.
So the public health emergency is ending, and the governor said that.
yes.
And so that means that people who were receiving CalFresh benefits through EBT, the amount that they were getting may decrease, right? Because it will
Yes.
decrease.
So every household was getting the maximum allotment for their household size. And so even if they had income and that caused them to get less than the maximum amount, they would get it regardless just because of the public
Because
health
of the
emergency.
public pandemic. So that ending may cause a little bit of stress for people.
Yes. it
And
is.
so I know we're preparing them in some of those social media things. We're encouraging people we're letting them know about the different food banks around town. Are there any other maybe advice we might have for people that might need a little more help with food?
Well, I know the state has also been sending out mailers to notify all those affected households. To prepare them.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that they talked about like a summer EBT program to help the children during the summer months.
That's good. Children in school.
Children in school.
They'll be getting the card.
They'll be getting a card. And so that's
That'll
still kind of
help.
in the works.
Yeah. For people that don't have children, we'll put something out just to tell people give them some suggestions.
resources.
That might be a good thing to do, because I could see where that would be a big. Oh no,
It's going to be it's going to be a
lot
big
more.
change to our
Yeah.
customers.
It is.
Getting
Yeah,
back.
and you guys might feel a little more. You might get a little bit more calls, maybe.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you're probably getting your staff ready for that, huh?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Well, another thing that we were talking about in the conferences that you attended, there was one, because your job is so stressful, there was an offered session called Calmness, a Balance Within. Did you both attend that?
Yes, we did. And a previous trainer that came to Kern County, Jackie De La Cruz, is the one who did it. And she calls herself a wellness guru. So a lot of her workshops are based on self-care, wellness, how to deal with stress, and
Understanding where the stress is coming from and how to alleviate it so that you have a better mindset when you are, and not just us, with the customers, where they're coming from when we're on the phone with them. The ability to understand where they're coming from and where our stress is coming from so that we can meet in the middle.
That's good.
She was very, very good.
Because I imagine when someone calls you and they're right off the bat yelling at you or very unhappy about something, and you just have to put yourself in their place, they must be really struggling, you
Yes.
know, and not take it personally.
No.
Yeah, you really have to make sure that you empathize and try to relate what that person is going through.
Yeah, calming them down. I think that the job that you guys all have is facing those kinds of needs people have regularly. So I would imagine that kind of training is pretty important.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Well, you guys really do so much to help our community, and I think I was looking at the dollars that go back into our community from CalFresh and things that we provide for people, and it really impacts over 50% of our community receive services from us. So that's huge.
It's a big number.
Yeah, it is a big number. Is there anything else that you would like to share about the conference or just being in this field of eligibility work?
Well, I would like to share that I really enjoyed going. This is my first conference that I've attended. I've been an eligibility professional for 15 years.
Awesome.
And I've always wanted to go, but I never, had the time, or it was just never the right time. So I'm really happy that I went, because I got to experience it and come back and talk about it and hopefully encourage others to go next time, because we only had 2 Kern County reps, myself and Tammy, and other counties had 10, 15 people that attended. And it's just really nice to have that representation, especially for a county of our size.
Yeah. Yes. So maybe next year, well, I wonder if it has anything to do with where the conference is held. I don't know.
And
if they had it in San Diego, probably more people. I don't know.
Burlingame was beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it?
See, it was beautiful there. It was right next to the bay. The hotel where the
Oh,
conference was at
wow.
was right next to the bay. It didn't rain at all. I know they had a
It was
couple of
supposed to rain,
floods,
but it didn't.
but it didn't.
But the next
Well,
one is
they
going to
missed
be in
out.
Anaheim.
Yes.
Okay, so near Disneyland.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes. Mhm.
So
Well, that
I
sounds
was
fun.
thinking on the way back, it really is a wonderful conference. And I think eligibility professionals would be, if we could get more to go, it would be so wonderful, because when we came back, we were energized. We
I could see your
learned a
energy.
lot.
Yeah.
We were even thinking about starting our own chapter here.
Yes.
And, but we are busy, but still, it was a lot. And I think everybody going would be re-energized. They'd learn more information. They would come back and ready to sit down and do a wonderful day's job, because of all the people we met over there and how we were networking with other counties and understanding that we're not the only county that's going through everything.
The challenges that everyone's going through, right?
So yes, it was energizing.
There's a camaraderie, involved. Even though, you meet people from Santa Cruz County, which is completely different than Kern County, they're talking about the same issues that we face here. So
it kind of does help you when you understand that, doesn't it?
And then you make connections, and now you have a buddy in Ventura, in Alpine, in Riverside that you can email and be like, hey, I have this ICT.
Okay, what's an ICT? I don't know.
Intercounty transfer.
Oh, okay, there we go. The lingo. We have so many abbreviations. So it's really important to connect, and it's very much a developing your career and your contacts. Well, if people want to learn more about the New Paths Conference, they probably have a website, New Paths.
Yes, it's actually called CalNew, CalNew.org.
Okay.
And you can learn all about the New Paths through there. And they have pictures about and information about the current conference that just happened, but also previous conferences that they've had. And what's so great about that, because I was actually looking at it last night, is that they uploaded all the PowerPoints from the workshops on the website. Oh,
that's important for our staff.
There's a link there.
So maybe we can link that to our staff when we send out this podcast.
Yes,
that would be
that
great.
sounds great.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being here today and being our guests, ladies. It was really interesting to learn more about what you do and just the New Paths Conference. And I'm glad that you came back invigorated, and you look like you're ready to go take on the world. So
we are.
That's great.
We are.
Yes.
Well, thank you again for being our guest today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm your co-host Paola, and in today's Mindful Minute, we'll be talking about starting your day off with positive intentions. And what are intentions? Summarized, it refers to the underlying motivation for everything we think, say, or do. Given that our unconscious brain is in charge of most of our decision-making and behaviors, it's important to practice aligning your conscious with your unconscious emotional drive. Keeping those intentions in mind at the beginning of your morning can change your day. Before checking your phone when you wake up, take some deep breaths and ask yourself, how will you show up for yourself today? Or simply check in with yourself and say, today's going to be a great day. So I challenge you, listeners, to give it a try and see how it may change your day. This has been your Mindful Minute.
Thank you for joining us for the Heartbeat of Human Services podcast today. We hope you'll join us next time.